Hello, and welcome to today's webinar about conversion optimization and building landing pages. But just a little bit about me so you know where I'm coming from. I worked with a few, what I would like to call, at least at the time, direct response marketing companies. So when I worked at TurboTax many years ago, we weren't doing a lot of the brand advertising that they're doing now. The majority of the kind of marketing we were doing at the time was focused on getting somebody to purchase the tax software. So I was marketing manager at TurboTax. I left there to be VP of marketing at ProFlowers, and then senior level management team at Real Age. Real Age is the biological age of your body based on how well you've maintained it. We aligned ourselves with Dr. Mehmet Oz. We sold that to Hearst. And then even another company called Pathway Genomics. We went into competition with 23andMe. So I have a variety of direct-to-consumer and business-to-business selling, but also been teaching marketing, and that's kind of my love lately. I do it along with my business partner, Randy Gerson. We teach at San Diego State University. A lot of times what we're doing at the university level is teaching strategy. Today, we're not going to do as much strategy as we're going to do getting really deep into like specific conversion optimization, which is different. Today, we're going to be talking about optimization from a marketing perspective, not necessarily from a technology perspective. So we're not going to show you how to build the landing page as much as talk to you about how what are the marketing components that you need to be thinking of when building it. Okay, there are some individuals, they happen to be on listening right now from Green Rope. If you're needing help building your landing pages in the system, you can reach out to them. But what we're going to do is talk today about what is a landing page, what are the elements of a landing page, the two most important things to remember when selling on a landing page, which are benefits and offer, things that you may want to test, and then we're going to look at some examples of other landing pages, and we're all together going to critique them. Okay, definition of a landing page. A landing page is a standalone web page distinct from your main website that has been designed for a single focused objective. Typically, those objectives are one of two things. Either to sell something or get a lead. Now, it could be something else, but those are the two most common, right? There are other names or words or titles or nomenclatures other than calling them a landing page. You may have heard people call it a squeeze page, a lead capture page, a lander, a satellite page. Whatever you will, the concept is still roughly the same. It is typically a single page, maybe two, but typically a single page that's focused. That means it's limiting the links out from that page, meaning no global navigation, meaning it doesn't link to your home page, right? And the reason for that, and the reason for it to be focused, is it limits the distractions and focus people on what you're trying to do. Typically, a landing page is written with a direct sales copy point of view. So this landing page typically has a direct sales copywriting point of view and has a call to action, a CTA with an offer. Oftentimes they're customized based on targeted advertising, like you're advertising on search, Facebook, or setup. So let's dig in a little more. A landing page is perfect for if you are a company who is doing any kind of advertising on Facebook, LinkedIn. This is a perfect way, and you're trying to sell or generate a search, email, any kind of focused campaigns typically use landing pages. It's perfect if you have a B2B company and you're trying to generate leads through webinars, e-guides, and white papers, or if you're selling a single product, or even if you're just simply trying to get a membership subscription, enrollment, or a newsletter subscription, it's perfect for that. It may look like this. You have an ad on Facebook that is driving people to a page that you control, a landing page, which captures more additional information that the person you may not have at all, like an email address, a name, address, a company name, whatever it might be. Then you take that information that you capture on that landing page and you plug it into your Green Rope lead nurturing campaign, right? You can even capture data and have it automatically segment on that. You ask for information on that page that will allow you to segment that data in your lead nurturing program. Lead nurturing, we discuss in another topic. Right now, we're going to be talking about the landing pages. So whether it's a Facebook ad, a Google search ad that lands on a keyword-specific landing page, or an email that you send out saying, sign up here for an e-guide, this is what a landing page is for. So some of you will recognize this on the right-hand side. This is a typical element, like typical structure of a landing page. And I'm going to talk about it briefly, and then we're going to stop and dig into some specific aspects of it. Typically, it's a long page. You know, have you ever heard of people say you need to make a page super short because nobody likes to read? You will read that and hear about that from many marketers. And in general, that is true. However, I was always taught, and I've always found through testing, that your web page needs to be as long as it needs to be to answer the questions and explain the benefits to the person reading it. The length doesn't matter as much as the information that goes into the page. So typically, your landing page includes a headline, a hero image that relates to the headline, okay? Not just a hero image that's standing out there that doesn't mean anything. It usually has to mean something. A koala bear may or may not relate to the headline, don't know. And I know this is hard to see, but we'll continue on to the next page and we'll dig in further in a second. So a headline, hero image, supporting copy to the headline. And then it also includes a form. The form is usually designed to get an order or a lead, right? That form with a call to action may or may not be above the fold. It can be below the fold. My personal testing has found that above the fold or sneak peeking above the fold tends to work well, meaning that the form starts at least before the fold starts so that it pulls their eyes down and pulls them into the form. Notice how this form, at least on this page, is not at the bottom. It's at least towards the top. There are reinforcing statements and additional information that is provided about the product as it relates to above. You'll see that the word benefits here is written on the right. The word benefits is the most important word on this entire page, other than, well, maybe benefits and call to action, right? And we'll go into that. Usually I like to make sure that my headline and my supporting copy includes some aspect of the benefits and then detailed benefits broken out down below on the headline. And then you can add more features about the product as well. One thing you don't see here, but also is typically used, are any supporting elements as it relates to your product, like anybody who testimonials, recommendations, or awards are typically also placed on a landing page. Here's another breakdown of a landing page. There's many different looks and feel, right? So again, headline, subhead, copy, call to action, offer, right? Number 5, the do it now urgency. I was taught and I have tested that you don't need to tell people to do it now, but I guess what? When you do say the do it now or offer expires now, or, you know, make sure to click on this today, it does lift response, okay? And then the testimonial here, or anything you have like this. You will notice that I highlighted, again, the word benefits twice on here. As part of conversion rate optimization, selling benefits is as important as the color or the layout of your website. You need to understand this, and I'm going to dig into this in a second, before you build your page. Critical to know this 1 second. And by the way, this isn't just important in when you're building a landing page, but it's important when you're building any pages that you're building, any aspect of marketing, whether it's radio, TV, or whatever, okay? So when selling, whether it's trying to get a lead or trying to get a sale, it is important to know, and you may have heard this before, but we're going to dig into it in detail. People buy benefits, not features. What's the difference between a feature and a benefit? Here's a graphic that kind of generally states it. People don't buy the fact that it's a cloth umbrella and it has a wood handle. People buy an umbrella because it protects it from the sun and the rain. Let's dig into that even further, right? People didn't buy the original iPods because it has 1 gigabytes. It bought an iPod because it stored 1,000 songs in their pocket. The way to think about it, and the way to help you through the process of making sure that you are selling benefits, not features, is to follow this 3-step process. Number 1 is write down the features of your product or service, write down the advantage of those features, and then write down the benefit of the advantage. Most individuals, most companies run into the situation where they end up stopping and only promoting an advantage of a product rather than a benefit. I'll give you a case and example. Do you guys all remember the number 2 pencil you used to use in school, and you fill out the Scantron forms, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Number 2 pencil. The teacher would always say, everybody in class on Thursday, make sure to bring in 2 number 2 pencils, make sure they're sharp. The feature of a number 2 pencil, if you're selling number 2 pencils, the feature of a number 2 pencil is that it has number 2 lead. The advantage of it is that it writes darker. It actually is darker. The benefit of it writing darker is that it's easier to read. Okay? So people will buy a number 2 pencil because it's easier to read, not because it has number 2 lead. Now, because it's easier to read, it makes it better for Scantron forms, right? And scans better. So again, people will buy the pencil because it scans better, not because it has number 2 lead. So think about that when you're selling your product or service. Think about what is the feature of it, what's the advantage, and then go 1 step further to what is the benefit. That's probably the most important aspect on a landing page, because again, people buy benefits, not features. However, what makes things direct response, what gets people to take action now is your call to action, right? We oftentimes say that the number 1 competitor for you might not even be a competitor. It might be apathy, okay? And say, I'll do it later. If somebody says they'll do it later, guess what? They're not going to do it later. So your job on that landing page is to get people over to the line and take action now. This next slide is your typical human behavior, okay? So I teach this at San Diego State. Everybody understands it. Let's say I tell the students, we're going to have a final or a midterm on September 22nd. And everybody's like, okay. And the midterm is about blah, 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 blah. So what happens is everybody gets excited when they go back to their dorm or classroom or whatever. They said, I'm going to get going on this early. And then that very next weekend, the beer festival hits. And they said, well, you know what? The beer festival is only this weekend. I got to go. And then all of a sudden it starts removing from their mind. They forgot about it. They were really excited in the beginning. And then they're like, you know what? I'm just not sure if I can do that. I've got nothing pressing right now. I'll get to it later. And then a couple of days before that midterm, guess what? The deadline looms. And then they realize, oh, I need to get on this. And they start setting 2 days before. But if they walk into class and I say, you know what? I'm going to give you a 2-day extension All of a sudden you get a whole bunch of energy and everybody starts studying really hard for 2 days. This is also the model for direct response. When you promote something to somebody, if it does not have a deadline, it simply drops here. You can double your response by having a deadline and reminding people of that deadline prior to purchase. So what you do on a landing page typically is you have a form on there. You can also place retargeting code on that page and hit people to remind people of the promotion and the deadline and try to pull them back in the time for the deadline. But having the deadline, a date and a time, and say you must respond by that time will increase response. And that's what an offer is for. So there's the deadline, but there's the offer. You guys will probably know these kind of offers because you see it in CVS or every store, and you see it online over all the time, right? 15% off, or buy this, get that. At Pro Flowers, we found the best offer for us was buy a dozen red roses, get a free glass vase. The reason why that worked really well for us is because a glass vase has a perceived value of $10, but it only cost us 80 cents. So we had a high perceived value, and people felt like they were getting a good deal, which is great. So free gift offer, specialized content. You get more or different or better content, limited time. A guarantee is a type of offer. I guarantee that you will love this product or your money back. And sometimes those guarantees have deadlines, right? More products and services, sweepstakes, final offer, right? For B2B, you're typically trying to get a lead. You're trying to get somebody to provide us a name, company name, maybe even a little bit more information than that in a form. You want them to provide it to you. So typically a landing page for B2B is a page that offers more information. A webinar right now is probably the most common, right? So people sign up for a webinar, not just to learn about your product, but to learn about the whole industry of which that product is in. A business-to-business landing page also may have a lot of social proof, meaning not only do I see that you're knowledgeable about the subject, I can tell you're knowledgeable because you have a webinar, an ebook, and a white paper, but I can also see that a lot of other people like your product. That makes me feel a little bit better before moving forward. You do want to make sure that it's clear that you're selling, but you want to help them by offering them more information and giving them options to get more from you. Examples of B2B offers and deadlines. This price won't be available at the end of the month. I need to secure inventory. I need to know by the end of the week. We're giving this information to a select group of people. This webinar won't run again. All of these can have deadlines to it, which gives you a boost in getting a higher response. I mentioned this earlier. I'm just going to reiterate this. I think you probably know and all have seen this. Free offers, lead generation through an educational process, books, white papers, special reports, webinars, videos, reports, or, and I've used this considerably, especially since Green Rope makes it very easy to do so. There's a lot of things that you can do to test in business to business on your landing page. The most common and most important things to test are to test your benefits and your offer, as well as your call to action. But there are also a lot of other things that you can test. If you're doing a lot of webinars, you may want to test an email drip campaign, a video, an e-guide, because there seems to be a lot of Zoom burnout lately. So there might be some other things you can do there. Or if you're doing webinars, you may want to test changing the headline and the title of the Zoom meeting of the webinar to be much more benefit, revenue, or whatever focused. So instead of saying, come learn how we can increase sales, I'll be more specific, say, Jack Smith is going to talk about how he grew his business to $200 million and sold his business for $190 million. Come learn his secrets. First, some fun tips. People ask me about this all the time. The whole, what color should the button be? So everybody always wondered, right? So there is a term that used to be used about 35 years ago, and the term was a snipe or a snip or a violator. And Publishers Clearinghouse made this famous. And on an envelope, you used to have an envelope, like a 6x9 envelope, and they would put a bright red, kind of an ugly starburst with a yellow arrow on it pointing down. That was called a violator. And a violator is something that looks dramatically different than the rest of the page. And oftentimes, back then, it was ugly. It was terribly ugly. But when they did A/B split testing, the results were off the charts on how well people responded to it. So the concept doesn't need to be ugly, but I'll tell you this, the concept behind the color of the button is that it needs to stand out. If it is exactly the same color as everything else on the page, it will not stand out. And I was at Pro Flowers. I think I mentioned that before. We did some multivariate testing. We tested 117 different variables on our landing page. Of the 117 different variables, only 5 made a difference. 2 of those 5 were in the call to action button. Number 1 was the color of the button. Number 2 was the words in the button. They matter. We had a line on the page, big line, and that we tested. And it said the number 1 rated flower site by Money Magazine. That lifted response significantly. What's interesting is I've never met anybody who's actually read Money Magazine. I don't think it matters what the magazine was. I think what matters is that somebody believes you're great other than yourself, right? So having that kind of thing on your site was good. We tested testimonials. I tested them many times at many different companies. At TurboTax, we tested testimonials. At Pro Flowers, at many other companies, and even more recently, we tested it at a gym. Only one time could we get the testimonials, or no, twice could we get the testimonials to work. Many times we did not get the testimonials. When I did more testing into what testimonial gets the best response, what we found is that a testimonial from an individual who works at a company that somebody recognizes. If I said, Jack Smith has a testimonial and he works at Drawer Pulling Inc. Nobody knows who Jack is. Nobody knows who that company is. But if I said Jack Smith or Jack whoever has a testimonial and he works at Apple Computers, all of a sudden, I think your brain starts saying, oh, okay, I know that. So having the testimonial come from somebody that comes from a recognizable company, or if you're doing local advertising and you have a local testimonial or something like that, that helps, right? Different colors mean different things. Yellow is optimistic and youthful. Orange is aggressiveness. It's also used as a call to action and attention grabber. I've also been told orange is used for creativity. Red is energy. It increases heart rate and creates urgency, often seen with clearance sales and references to food. Pink, romantic and feminine, used to market products and services, women and young girls. Blue, creates a sensation of trust and security. I've been told that many times. So whenever we do like online backups, whenever we do security companies, we tend to use blue. Purple, soothing and calm, often relates to beauty or anti-aging products, right? Green, associated with wealth, the easiest color for the eye to process and used with finance, entertainment, websites. Black, powerful and sleek, seen as luxurious and sophisticated. That your headline, though, should not be white on black. It should not be reverse type. your headline, if possible, is easier to read if it's black type on white. There may be cases where that's not the case, but that's the rules that I've been following. Okay, let's take a look at some landing pages. Here's one right here for, has anybody ever heard of Bamboo HR? It's a new HR software platform. First of all, did you notice they definitive guide to the company culture right away? So they're offering, even on their landing page. So the landing page has an offer, but even before you get that, they do the pop-up right here, asking for email address and login. Again, giving people more information. They're a B2B software company. That's typically what you do, give people more information. Whenever I evaluate a landing page, first two things I look at. Benefit is right here. You can focus on the people, not the paperwork, right? They didn't hide the benefit anywhere else. They put it right there, first thing. They don't talk about the features of the product. They do say what they are, which I really like. Sometimes people talk about the benefits without saying what they are. HR software, so you can focus on the people, not the paperwork. And then it does here. It automates operational tasks and frees HR to perform the big picture projects. See, they put the detail here. They don't put the detail up here. This is what people are buying. Okay, let's scroll down. I've been playing around a lot lately with something other than demo. I have been putting lately 20-minute demo. Not a half-hour demo, not an hour demo. If you can get through 20 minutes and then you be very respectful and you say, you know, I've run out of time. I promise you 20 minutes. If you want to continue talking, I can. The majority of the time, 90% of the time, people are going to go, you know what? I do want to hear more. Keep on going. Now you've asked permission and you can move forward. But the 20-minute can really help you move on. 20-minute demo to see how you can focus more on people, right? Adding a benefit to your call to action. I think the green here works well because it's tied in. I still would have used the orange, and I would have tried to see how when you land here, I would have tried to maybe take the by submitting this information and put it underneath it, put that orange button a little bit higher so that the orange could be above the fold. Here, they're trying to give borrowed credibility of companies that they're doing right here. It would be nice to say, you know, clients include, you know, or something like that, but you don't have to. Set people free to do great work. Awesome words. Pretty good. Easy to set up, easy to use. You see how they're really focusing on how easy it is to get going? Top-rated customer service. If you want to find out more about interacting, you would scroll down to find out more, right down here. And if that's not enough, sometimes what you can do is an exit pop. When you leave, it says, would you like more information? But again, typically you're trying to put more information down here. You can see a lot more compensation, culture, etc. Let's look at another one. Here's Southern New Hampshire University, right? They're doing a hardcore blitz on trying to get people to sign up for their virtual MBA programs. Here is their landing page. Online MS in management. Request information. Register by September 12th. Classes start September 14th. And you have a little bit more information down here, student success, academics, affordability. Oftentimes, again, what you're trying to do is get the benefit in here rather than this. I'll tell you what they probably happened here. I found this landing page through a keyword, and it probably picked up my keyword and automatically populated it here, okay? So that's good because it ties what you're searching for with what you find in a landing page, and that typically lifts response in a big, big way. However, if you could somehow or another get the benefit at the top or the headline right here, subhead here, and it's got to be a benefit that fits for all, but I'm sure they can figure that out. And then I think they have the benefit is, you know, you're going to become a successful management person, tie the image to the benefit, right? Again, the get info, great, not so great. There's probably some better wording. They should be doing some testing on the call to action here. Let's take a look at another one. This is a company that offers threat protection on your computer. I get the idea of explaining what you do, complete defense against existing, emerging, and threats. That is an advantage it would be great if you could go one step further towards the benefit. And again, the blue blends in. I'm fine with try it for free for 30 days, but an orange or a color that kind of you don't want to use red because red is a threat thing. It's a little scary for detection. They're using blue because it feels more credible. That's really a small amount of information to click on try for 30 days. Here's one for the New York Times. Unlimited access to all the journalism we offer on any device. It's not saying the feature, it's going to the advantage, but it's not going all the way to the benefit. What's the benefit of you having all this journalism on any device, right? And then the offer is in here. Yeah, read the news whenever and wherever you want. Yep, see it anywhere, anytime. That would be good. Now, I would keep the unlimited access. What you would do is you would have the benefits, get your news anywhere, anytime, without fail. And then underneath that, you would say unlimited access to all the journalism we offer on any device. I love the way that they're doing the offer, right? Oops. The offer with the crossed out and then limited time. You can cancel at any time. That's great. Subscribe now. Again, the black button, it's all right. I would use something different. One last one. Now, it's hard to look at the yellow. You're not gonna make comments on the yellow and the red. That is the color, those are the colors of this company, right? They explain who they are. It's weird to explain the benefit, but you can explain the benefit of what this is. This is an offer, get a free home inspection. I'd love to have the offer, but it would be great to have what's the benefit of doing this now. I'm assuming that people that are coming to this page probably have a need that requires immediate response. That's the reason why they have 24-hour response, right? Matter of fact, 24-hour response may be the most important thing. If you're looking at pest control, you don't want somebody to come out next month. You want them to come out right away. Pest control, you could do one of two things. You can use the fear, which is to show, some rats or something like that. But you don't know if they're here because of cockroaches, rats. So I'm not sure what you're looking for. But you can say, imagine being pest-free in weeks or something like that. Sign up. Ugh. I love the red. Don't like the sign up. The reverse font on black background is okay as in some situations. I don't know that it works here. It's hard to read. This is great. This is great. People definitely want to know. It would be great if you had a link over to Google reviews or an external source, because I don't know if I should just trust them or if they're just taking the best ones and putting it there. And the video is great. Notice how they put the video at the bottom. I've tested video at the top, in the middle, and the bottom. I've typically found it works better at the bottom of the page, meaning I don't just think that. I actually did some testing and found an increase in response when I put the video at the bottom of the page. People like to scan and then view versus view and then scan, at least in what I was selling at the time. And the phone number is great. I have one more and then done. So I did another one for commercial cleaning services. I wanted to show this because this one is specific to COVID. If you do commercial janitorial services, this coverall popped up. I don't know who they are. And you will see this page. Okay, so for a cleaning service, COVID is really an important aspect. So they put that right up front. A cleaner workplace starts here doesn't really mean anything. Again, you could put the benefit of having a commercial janitorial service. This is a call to action that you would typically put right down here instead of get started. Commercial cleaning starts here. Get started. Well, actually, I don't know, something of the sort. Maybe above it, commercial cleaning starts here and then get started here. Other than that, the page is not bad. They still allow you to get more information when needed, because commercial cleaning, maybe you need it, but still focus people down here. Okay, I just want to reiterate a couple of things. The elements of the landing page. Headlines, sell benefits, subheads. You can have the benefits in there, maybe advantage in a couple of features. Make sure to explain what you do. You have the form, the call to action. If you can get the benefit and the call to action, even better, even better. The call to action should act like a violator. It should stand out from the rest of the page. Orange, red, blue, green, something orange that really stands out. All right. Then have an offer with a deadline. And if your product or service, let's say you have an e-guide, doesn't have a deadline, you can make one. What we've done is we said this e-guide is only good until September 15th. We would just make another e-guide with slight changes from it and launch another one after September 15th. And we'd say, new e-guide now available. That offer expires on October 15th. So there are things that you can do. Again, a deadline increases response, okay? And then your CTA matters. What you say in those boxes matter. Okay, so I'm at the end of the presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have questions about implementation of landing pages or implementation of the lead nurturing process or anything in GreenRope, you have the email address right here, implementation@greenrope.com. And GreenRope offers the GreenRope certification to register for that, which gives you much more detailed information, much more rounded viewpoint of all of GreenRope. You can see the certification course there.